My mom told me to stop sticking my fingers in electrical outlets, so instead, I'm gonna shock stuff in every mainline Final Fantasy game, except the MMOs because I don't feel like it, the 3 tactics games, and a few bonus ones. The rules are simple. I gotta choose a lightning spell, whether it be bolt, lightning, thunder, or whatever else it's called, and cast it as fast as possible. All nameable characters must have electrifying names, and at the end of the video, we'll find out which game zapped my stamina the most. In Final Fantasy, we name our characters Mallow, Shocker, Carmen, and Clap. We watch a short cutscene, buy the Thunder spell in the magic shop, and teach it to Clap. After tasing the king with our crystals, we head to the forest and Zeus out on this goblin. In Final Fantasy II, we name our characters Rumble, Rolling, Drumfire, and Clap. After some knights burn down our town and try to kill us, we wake up and head straight to the magic shop. There, we buy a Thunder Tome. We teach Thunder to Rumble and Rolling, and then head straight to the woods. And while trees don't conduct electricity, these snakes definitely do. Final Fantasy III was troubling in my fire video, and Thunder is gonna be worse. To start, we name our characters Belty, Bolty, Broti, and Electroman. We start out in a cold and earthy cave, but the power lines have fallen and there's no electricity. So we thaw this frozen turtle and get our first crystals, as well as the Black Mage class. To use Thunder in this game, we need to buy the spell, and we need another thing that I'll talk about in just a minute. The first magic shop only has Poisona, and Kazusa's denizens are all superconductors, which can't talk or sell things, so I can't even see what spells their shop has. But fortunately, Cid clues us into the location of his airship. We fly to the castle to grab a blizzard spell, which we teach to our Black Mage, and we also grind a bit in the forest. We meet up with Primordial Lightning, and she throws a silver ring at the boss of the sealed cave, Jin, which is ineffective, so we charge ahead and destroy him. Then we head to the workshop, and this mechanic attaches a mithril prow to my airship, which I then destroy by running the airship into a rock. But hey, the rock is gone. We head to the magic shop, get the Thunder spell, teach it to Electric Man, and dash back to electrify some oh crap, they put Electroman to sleep. Okay, battle again, and we electrify the lizard. Success, but it didn't feel that fast. So I repeat the process, but I end up doing a little bit less grinding, which is a little bit of a problem, since Thunder in this game is a level 2 spell, and we have no level 2 magic points. But after a little more grind, we finally shock some tree people. And I saved about 10 minutes. A shocking triumph. Final Fantasy IV opens with the destruction of a bunch of mages, the slaying of a dragon, and the incineration of this little girl's town. Oh, and the dragon was also her mother, but she'll get over it. She's mad and she casts Earth, and since that beats Electric, we white out. We bring her to the next town, protect her from some soldiers, and then reunite with our girlfriend, Rosa. Her battery has run out, and the only cure is Thunder. So we head to the magical MacGuffin Cave, where we meet Tella, a sage who possesses the Thunder spell. And since we're starving, we take him fishing, where he throws a toaster in the water to rustle up some grub and cook it at the same time. And here's a little bonus. Mystic Quest was published right after Final Fantasy IV and has 3 levels of spell and 3 levels of magic points, Black, White, and Wizard. And your allies also get their own spells, which we will be exploiting in this run. At the outset of our adventure, we name our hero Eleben, or Eleben, depending on how you want to pronounce it. We jump off a collapsing mountain, kill a bull, and head to the level forest. After jumping over this obstructive man and moving a rock, we recruit Kaylee and Foresta, who unfortunately only has the life spell. But she does have an axe, and with her help, we defeat another bull. Unfortunately, the bull poisons her, and we head to the Sand Temple. That's where we'll find the elixir that will save her, and that elixir has already been looted by Tristram. He tries to extort us, but we just say no, so he joins our party, which is kind of weird, and we head to the Bone Dungeon to get him some treasure to trade for the elixir. We grab the Quake spell here, which is still not Thunder, and we fight the Flamerous Rex. And unfortunately, I overestimate my defensive capabilities and I die. And somehow, I misclick the retry button here and end up having to restart the game. Fortunately though, on my second try, things go better. I defeat Flamerous Rex, cure Kaylee of her poison, and then we head to the Aquaria region. There we meet Phoebe, and fortunately, she has the Thunder spell. So we head to the next battlefield, and Phoebe and her lightning strike twice. Final Fantasy V is another job-based Final Fantasy. A meteor strikes, though lightning does not, and we name our main character Bolts. We save Lena, steal a pirate ship, and fight a firebird who might actually be a thunderbird, not really sure. The Crystalid Guard shatters, giving us our first set of scam/jobs, which includes the Black Mage job. So to get the Thunder spell, we ride our boat to Tool, head to the magic shop, and buy the Thunder spell. And then all we have to do is lure a bug into our zapper. Final Fantasy VI is next, and if you watch the fire video, which I will link in the discriddly-diddly-do, you know that it took under a minute to cast 5 fire. Thunder, though, hoo boy, just you wait. We start Narsha, where we roast some soldiers, some dogs, some elephants, and a snail. We name our protagonist Vanille, and she only knows fire to start, so we still have a long way to go. She takes a big fall, is discovered by a boy whom we name Snow, and some Moogles, and we flee to Figaro Castle. There we meet the king, whom we name Saz, and reminisce about his brother, whom we name Hope. The castle then dumps us and uses Dig, so we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, head to South Figaro, fight a deadly martial artist, join a terrorist group on a raft, and cook some calamari. At this point, the group splits into 3, delaying our shocking conclusion. So we follow Snow back to South Figaro and meet Fang, who can cast ice. But unfortunately, we still have yet to find lightning. When will she return? Anyway, we grab the Thunder Rod from a cave and use it to defeat the tunnel armor in 1 hit. That technically casts lightning too, but since it's an item, I don't feel like that counts. Let me know what you think in the comments though. Then we watch a river get poisoned, we suplex a train, and we do some more rafting. By the way, don't buy a raft and don't buy a boat. Finally, our party reunites only to be fragmented when Vanille rebrands to become Pink Lemonade and flies off to Zozo. We follow her, defeat a martial artist having a midlife crisis, recruit the Esperama, grind until Fang learns Thunder, and then we give these electricians a fright. The Final Fantasy VII protagonist, because he's a cloud, starts with the Thunder materia already equipped, making this task shockingly quick. I don't even get to name him, but for the record, I would have called him Nimbus. In FF7 Remake, Cloud starts with only the fire materia equipped, so we fight a few soldiers, and within 10 short minutes, we gain access to Barret, who has the thunder materia, which he uses to short-circuit a troublesome robot. FF8 starts with some ominous and thunderous skies, but that does not count. We name our protagonist Edison, and after our teacher denies our FMLA claim, we head to the midterm exam, but not before she gives us our guardian forces, whom we name Bulb and AC. We take them out for a quick spin in the forest where we find an electric caterpillar and draw the thunder spell. And then we throw that thunder right back in its ugly, bugly face. And now that we're around the halfway point, please take your fork out of your toaster and hit the like button. If you don't, all chocobos will disappear from the earth. Thank you. In Final Fantasy IX, we name our protagonist Crash and then fight a dragon cosplaying as our boss. Then we find this little black mage's theater ticket is fake and look for another route of admission. Also, we name him Bang. After some sword fighting, a do-si-do with this suspicious-looking white mage, and a dance with a couple of creepy clowns, we name this Rusty Bucket Flash and kidnap the princess. But Flash fights us to get her back, so we steal his shirt. Coincidentally, it's a silk shirt, which will let Bang learn the thunder spell. Unfortunately, there's no chance to change any equipment until after we reach Creepy Forest. But once we do, we fight a plant, get Bang trapped inside a plant, release Bang from the plant, and then finally equip him with his new shirt, which is way too big for him, by the way. And with this goblin's back turned, Bang calls down a sacred bolt to smite him. Final Fantasy X's arc is largely the same as in the Fire video, and again, I will link that in the discriddly-deedly-doodly-doo. We name our handsome hero Joltis, and then he raises his lightning rod to the sky. We fight some Tantacles, revive an ancient airship by banging really hard on the console, enjoy a luxury meal in our boat that we eat with our gloves, which is really gross, and we barely escape an attempt on our lives by another athlete, only to get stuck in a stupid temple without running water or electricity. But once we meet up with Blue and his bolts, we get a lightning burb, whom we name Shock Tit. And then we finally enter a tutorial with a watery dessert that can only be cooked in an electric oven. Thanks, Lulu. Famed challenge runner JAMSAC took care of Final Fantasy X-2 for me, and if you haven't seen it yet, I'll link a couple of his super fun Final Fantasy challenge runs in the discriddly-doo. Take it away, Jam.
Oh yeah, it's Final Fantasy X-2 time. Let's get a little girly and skip some cutscenes. We start off by fighting this Yuna imposter, and she keeps on taunting us by using thunder, but it is not Yuna, so it does not count, unfortunately. So we beat her up and her goons, and then beat up LeBlanc once more, have a little dance around, and then it's back to our airship, and then we are ready to head to Mount Gugazet. We are dropped at the top of this mountain, where we find this treasure chest that contains the yellow ring. We equip this onto Riku, and then we just run around in circles until we get into a random fight. Once we're in the fight with some goons, we cast thunder with Riku, ending the run at 13 minutes and 37 seconds. Ciao! That was much easier than expected. If it was any other spell, we would have had to have waited till the end of the mission to have got the Black Mage dress sphere, but It wasn't. It was Thunder, so we did it in very little time.
Final Fantasy XII starts with a gripping tutorial. We control Rex, and fortunately, he comes with Thunder pre-learned and uses it in just under 2 minutes. Bravo! Final Fantasy XIII is next, and we start by controlling the protagonist, Lightning, but her electric aptitude has not yet developed. After skipping a million cutscenes, throwing a hallway down this hot dog of a game, and fighting a bajillion robots, we finally defeat this electric fembot. We all become Lassie and now have access to magic. And fortunately, this stoic and sassy suburban lady has access to the Thunder spell. And we complete this challenge by bolting some bionic burbs. Hey, another bonus one. Final Fantasy XIII 2. You start as Lightning, but she does not have access to the lightning spell, only this lightning strike spell. And there's an extra word there, so it doesn't count. We take control of Sarah, who unfortunately only starts with the fire spell, but after grinding on some bugs and beasts and coming into contact with a giant crystal, we get access to the Crystarium and learn Thunder. And after about 17 more skipped cutscenes, we enter a battle with a Pulsework soldier and short-circuit him. Lightning Returns is another bonus title. I failed this one hardcore in the fire run, but this run is pretty reasonable. We start in a battle with Anubis, and Lightning has access to Thunder. Boom! In Final Fantasy 15, we get set on fire in the prologue, push a car while this guy just sits there, have a heart-to-heart with Boobs McGee, and then finally can go fight some fiends. We have to craft our spells in this game, and to do that, we have to gather elemental energy from enemies by killing them with our sword. The first set only has access to ice. No bueno, that's not Thunder. The second set has fire elemental energy. That's also not Thunder. But this big guy has Thunder elemental energy. So we craft our Thunder spell and then spend an inordinate amount of time looking for an enemy to cast it on, and we settle on this Rhino Cow. But I wasn't satisfied with this run, so I tried again. And the second and third times, I accidentally killed this guy with magic, meaning I don't get his elemental energy. Because you have to kill him with your sword or you don't get the elemental energy. But the fourth time, I do the thing and I save about 50 seconds, which is kind of disappointing since with the 25 minutes I spent doing this run, I could have done literally anything else. And before we get to Final Fantasy XVI, which I assure you was torture, let's run through the rest of our bonus games. In World of Final Fantasy, our monsters give us abilities by stacking. Unfortunately, none of our initial monsters have Thunder, so we're stuck searching for new ones. And initially, we meet Thunderburst, Selphie, and Munder, none of whom have Thunder. So after skipping about a million more cutscenes, we capture Elecrock, Thunderplan, Conductor, and Alekai. And again, none of them have Thunder. But finally, we fight Rama, who can do massive Thunder damage, and I die. And unfortunately, since I didn't want to lose my last save file, I didn't save, and I have to start over. Yes, even in videos that should be simple, you still get to watch me suffer. But on try number 2, I stack an extra monster on top of my big character, and I defeat Ramu. I acquire our newest friend Zapped, and I leave his damn name alone because it's perfect. And after a quick grind to get him a few AP, this cute little guy learns the Thunder spell, and we zap this plant. In Final Fantasy Tactics, we have to get the wizard job before we can cast Thunder. We name our protagonist Thunza, and after the tutorial battle, I have my chemists attack the enemies, attack each other, and heal until they reach job level 2. Then I finish off the battle, switch them both to wizard, and use their initial ability points to teach Thunder. And that means that in the next battle, we cause this squire to have a cardiac arrest with a big bolt. In Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, we name our character April, like April showers. So after a snowball fight and a fall from grace into a book, we complete a quick tutorial battle. Mont Blanc casts Thunder, but we didn't choose it, so it doesn't count. So we go to the bar, rename our Moogle friend Voltzy, and go pick some herbs in the plains. When the fairies and goblins get in our way, they get shocked and shocked. In Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2, we name our main character Sparky. After filling out a very invasive survey, we are launched into Evilise, and while I want to shock this bird, the game initially forces me to select the fire spell with my black mage. But the second time around, we use Thunder to ground this Pidgeotto. And before we head into the grand finale, Final Fantasy XVI, here are the times for every single game so far. I've categorized them into tiers: the Jolteon tier less than 10 minutes, the Electric Eel tier less than 30 minutes, and the Comcast tier for less than an hour. And finally, the Help tier for more than an hour. The longest run will get the Golden Kate Sith Award, so let's see how Final Fantasy XVI stacks up. If you've played Final Fantasy XVI, you know that this is not going to be a Jolteon tier run. We start out with a fire spell already equipped, and we even get to cast Firaga as Joshua. We fight off this icy lady, flame some big boys, take note of this hot dude casting thunder, which does not count, and after almost 2 hours, we get our first new spell, Arrow. And that's not thunder. So we fight some terror spiders, learn about robots, and fight this big boy. Hey baby, what's up? And we get more fire. We don't need that. We need thunder. So we head into the boundless blue and fight this dragon who completely obliterates me. Yeah, right at the end. But fortunately, Final Fantasy XVI is kind and not only allows you to continue the battle from the middle of it, but also restores all of your potions. So I make some lizard steak and I head on to fight this big boy who apparently is having some issues with a steak of his own. And once I defeat him, we acquire our thunder spell in a way that is definitely not at all sad. And I shock these goons into submission. And there are 2 more things I need to tell you. Number 1, Final Fantasy XVI gets the Golden Kate Sith Award. And 2, you should shock right here for more Final Fantasy challenges. They're really good, I promise. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.